Good morning and welcome to Cindy's Kitchen. I'm Cindy and this is my kitchen, and I'm down here in Houston, Texas. So if you're brand new, welcome. We're a cooking community. We have fun, we cook, we share ideas, we share recipes, and it's a way to kind of escape from everything that's going on during your day. So welcome. If you are brand new, make sure you say hello and tell us where you're from, because then we can welcome you to the family. And even if you're not new, make sure you say hello and tell us where you're from so that we can all share where we are from different parts of the world. I'm having my coffee this morning, and so I welcome you. I wonder if you're drinking your coffee, or you're drinking some hot tea, or maybe your time zone is such that you have passed that time and you are drinking a glass of iced tea or lemonade or something like that. Good morning, Lisa from Florida. Good to see you. Hello, Joanne from Michigan. Benji from Oklahoma. Good to see you. Benji, did you didn't tell me what pattern you ordered for your mug, and I'm curious. Good. Iced tea. Lisa's drinking some iced tea. Well, that's good. Renee, morning. What are you drinking this morning, Renee? Or is it morning, or have you switched to the afternoon drinks? Good morning, Denise. Good to see you. Oh, Chicagoland, Gail. I always feel like I because some of you are very good about always saying good morning from a certain place, I'm always like, I associate your name with where you're from. And Benji, that's fine. You know what? And that's the deal. When I buy a Polish pottery mug, I don't buy it because I need it or it matches something. I buy it because it makes me happy. And when I wake up in the morning, I just want to be happy. Oh, Renee's having some water. Good for you. Be good and hydrated. Vicky, good morning. Good to see you. Linda Sue from Illinois. Good to see you. Coffee. Joanne needs the caffeine. Well, me too. Good morning, Connie. Good to see you. I'm using, this is from the factory called Malva. It's spelled M-A-L-W-A, but it's pronounced Malva. And so this is a beautiful little pink pattern. Good morning, Mom. Janet, good morning to you. Brenda, good to see you. It is pretty, isn't it? And so my friend Benji got a Polish pottery mug. She ordered a Polish pottery mug yesterday. And she had been down to visit me before she went on her cruise, and her daughter. And I told her, just like I told you, I open that cabinet in the morning and I say, I look at the different patterns of mugs and say, what will bring me joy this morning? Because you got to start out your day the way you hope it will go. And so I pick out something that makes me happy. And this morning it was this happy pink flower. Doesn't that make you feel happy? Made me feel happy today. I know, right? Aloha, Jean. Good to see you. Anyway, today on Cindy's Kitchen, we're going to make 2 easy dishes. I think they're easy. I hope you think they're easy, because that's my whole thing. Quick, easy, but very yummy. And we've made one of them before and one of them kind of. I know, right? All right, well, let's get started. Let us do our coffee clinks or our water or our hot tea or lemonade or whatever it is you're drinking. There you go, clink. Coffee is in my moment of happiness is an MPP mug. I agree. Hey, Anne, welcome from the UK. So yummy. All right, so today I'm making an entree or a main dish that you can have for dinner or lunch or snack. And then I'm gonna make a side dish. Now I'm not making really any carbs today. Oh, Jean's having some cocoa, yummy. So this could easily be made with rice or some sort of pasta or, quinoa or couscous or whatever floats your boat, okay? So that being said, we're gonna start with our side dish. I think sometimes, I've done this side dish before, but I know a lot of times people get a little frustrated with what to make for the side dishes because you make the same things over and over and over again. And so I've done this before, but in case you didn't see that episode, I thought I'd do it again, and this is what I was hungry for. So we're gonna do some baked Parm artichokes. Now, you certainly could buy fresh artichokes and peel and do, and really, I've never done it. It looks like too much work. And you know how lazy I am, right? Lazy. And so and you could get frozen, I suppose, but I'm going with a can. Now, good morning, Sue. I wanted to show you, order says skinny mug art floral. Hold on, let me see. Does it look like this? Benji, does it look like this? It's a very small mug. It looks just like this. Is that what it looks like? Because if it is skinny mug art floral, I have the same one. We match. Anyway, so I'm giving you your choice. Canned artichokes are easy to find, I think. I found them in almost every grocery store I've gone to. So I had two different kinds in my pantry. It's the same brand, but one says tender small artichokes. So can you see it's a full-size round artichoke, but they're small. And so tender and small tends to be, there you go. And then this one is quartered artichoke hearts. This is the one I'm gonna use today. It doesn't really matter, wholly up to you. Hey, Benji, I'm really gonna make you jealous. Because if that's the one you ordered, if that's the mug you ordered, look, I have the mug and the matching pori thing, which I use the pori thing. What is a pori thing? A pitcher. But I also keep stuff in it for right now, and then when I need it, I just take the stuff out. But isn't that pretty? Ooh, ah, ooh. Okay, there you go. Sorry. All right. So again, you can use whatever kind you want. Some of them come in like water. Some of them come in oil. Some of them are flavored. Wholly up to you. Really, whatever floats your boat. All right, so I'm gonna tilt you down just a wee tad, just so you can see. I'm gonna use this baking dish. Isn't this gorgeous? I love it. One, there's no blue on this. I know, weird for Polish pottery, right? But there's no blue on this, and that's why I was taken by it, because it's all black. It's just black and white. And especially me with arthritis hands, I like that it has these big handles on the side, so it's easier for me to get out of the oven. So anyway, so I'm gonna open my can, maybe, of artichoke hearts. There we go. All right, so there's what it looks like inside. And then I'm just gonna take a bowl and just pour off that liquid. Okay, I don't need the liquid, and you can discard the liquid. You don't need it at all. I don't want to spill it everywhere. And then, if you're not using Polish pottery, you certainly would want to give your baking dish, whatever size it is, a spray with cooking spray. Polish pottery, I have not had any problems with it sticking, and so I'm not going to spray. Okay, now, you don't have to put these right side up, down side up. I don't know that there's a right side. But so if you've never seen a quartered artichoke, there you go. Can you see? Oops, see? The only thing, sometimes these outer leaves can be a little tough, a little chewy. But again, since you're just basically dumping it in a dish, I like that, dumping it in a dish. Now you have two options here. If you wanted just a little bit more flavor, I don't normally do this, but I want to give you the option. Good morning, Julie from Northwest Houston. Give you a little bit more of an option. If you want a little more flavor, is if you have an Italian seasoning, whatever brand you have. I know that in your kitchen somewhere, you have a container that says Italian blend or Italian seasoning. This one happens to be from Tastefully Simple. It is one of my favorite ones, but any one will do. And this one says Italian garlic bread seasoning. I know I'm not making garlic bread, but you know. So I'm going to just do a sprinkle on top of these. Again, not necessary. Artichokes are good all by themselves, but you know. Okay, ta and da. And then we're gonna take our parm, because they are called baked parm artichokes, okay? This is shredded parm. See how it's shredded? You could use shredded, you could use grated, you could use shaved, whatever kind. The dogs are lurking. Hey Heather, good to see you. You never know with the dogs, right? Any kind of parm you want to use. Now, if all you have, or all you have available, or all you can afford is the green can, that's fine. You know, we can argue all day and, you know, about what tastes better. About whether shredding your own parm, you know, buying a block and shredding it yourself. Well, yeah, it does taste a little fresher. And it does give you more of that dry, aged, salty parm taste than does a little bit more processed green can, the green, you know. However, let us not get so snooty and our noses in the air that we forget that this needs to be quick, easy, and yummy, but we also have to afford it. And sometimes parm is a little expensive. So I don't want you to think you have to rush out and get, you know, whatever. This is the store brand, so, you know, it's not like whatever. Chris Olds, good morning. So now I'm gonna take and sprinkle parm across the top of this. How much, you say? Well, wholly up to you, but I would say, what did I say? About a quarter cup is what I would say. You really don't need more than that, but if you're a cheese freak, you certainly could. Now, what if you don't like parm? You know what? You can put any kind of, a mozzarella would be, a shredded mozzarella would be good on here. A shredded provolone would be good on here. Of course, then you would not call it baked parm artichokes. You would call it something else. Okay, that's it. No, Cindy, that cannot be it. We opened a can of artichoke hearts. We drained it. We put them in the dish. We put a little Italian seasoning on, some parm, and that's it. Preheat your oven, 350 degrees. Stick this in there for 10 minutes. 10 minutes, because all we're doing, remember, these artichoke hearts, these canned artichoke hearts, basically you can eat them out of the can. We are heating these through and melting the cheese, and that's it. All right, somebody set the timer, 10 minutes, in we go. All right. I'm gonna start, I've got some oil in a skillet, and this is a big skillet, and I don't really need this big of one for what we're doing, but I'm gonna cook more later. So really, I've covered the bottom of the skillet with some vegetable oil. You can use canola oil, you can use peanut oil, but I would not use olive oil. I would not do that. Now, here's what we're gonna start with. I gotta bring everything over. All right. I thought, remember when we went, never had artichokes. What do they taste like? They taste like artichokes. I don't know. Beverly, good morning. Hey, if somebody has a good description of what artichokes taste like, all I can think of is that they taste like artichokes. Heather, have you had spinach artichoke dip? Because then you've had it. So remember when I did the big shopping trip and I divided everything up and I didn't write on the bags that I put in the freezer because I was like, I'll know what it is. Except, idiot, I thought I was pulling out chicken thighs, and in fact, I pulled out, chicken tenders. Chicken tenders, which is not the same thing. That's okay. I have defrosted my chicken tenders. Now, I only have 4 right here, but the reason I have the big skillet is because I think there's 4 more in the bag, but for our show, I'm just gonna do 4. And I'm doing this so I can show you that If you just wanted to make 2 of these just for you, or 4 of them for if there's 2 of you, or you could make a whole batch of those. Wholly up to you on how you want to handle this, okay? The first thing you want to do after you've defrosted them, or if you buy your chicken not frozen, is you want to make sure that they're not damp. You want to dry them off. And so what I've done is I've just gotten a plate. I put a paper towel down. I put the 4 chicken tenders on there, put a paper towel on the bottom, and then paper towel on the top, just because you don't want them wet when we do what we're about to do, okay? I'm gonna turn this down just a bit because it's gonna take me a second. To prep, we have to prep. Ugh. Okay, we have 3 stations here. We have, let me do it this way. All right, 3 bowls. Our first bowl, and you can use a plate for this if you so desire. I'm using one of those, it's like a pasta bowl or whatever. All right, we need some flour. So I'm just gonna do a scoop. I have a little scoop. This scoop, if you have this scoop at home, actually holds a 1/4 cup. So if you were actually, I mean, obviously it wouldn't be exact because it's a scoop, but it's right at a 1/4 cup, okay? I'm probably gonna put in 2 of those, not because I need it for 4, but I will need it for my 8, okay? All right, so we have flour in our 1 dish. Then we have our eggs. Well, I was gonna use that, but I think I'm gonna use this little bitty one. I'm gonna use this little bitty one. You're gonna need some eggs. Google says artichokes are similar to asparagus and Brussels sprouts. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. I would say more similar to asparagus than artichoke. I mean, than Brussels sprouts, but that's just me. Now, I've got 3 eggs in here, only, again, because I'm doing 8 chicken tenders. If you're only doing 4, 1 or 2, of course, it just depends on your size of egg, right? If you have small eggs, you might need 2. If you need large eggs, now, am I adding anything else to this? No. I don't need to add water or milk or anything like that. There you go, just the egg. All right, so my egg is all whipped up. Okay, and then in my last container, I'm gonna do a mixture, and this is wholly up to you. This is my outside breading. I've got my flour so that things will stick. I've got my egg so that the outside, the breading will stick, and then we'll go on from there. I'm going to use, these are roasted garlic breadcrumbs, okay? But I don't have a whole lot left, so I'm gonna show you what you can do. If you don't have seasoned breadcrumbs, if you just have regular old breadcrumbs, then use breadcrumbs, and then you take your Italian seasoning, whatever that may be, and you put some in there. And viola, or voila, you have seasoned breadcrumbs, right? Okay, I'm taking this off because I can smell the oil. All right, so this is good just like it is. However, I'm gonna add just a little bit of panko. Now, panko are those Japanese breadcrumbs. I don't know why we call them Japanese breadcrumbs, but anyway, it is, I didn't add a whole lot. It's a bigger crumb, okay? It's a bigger crumb. It tends to make things a little bit more crunchy. However, if you've got a thick piece of meat, that's why, see, I'm doing these very thin chicken tenders. If you had like a chicken breast or a chicken thigh that you didn't like pound really thin, you would not want to use the panko because the panko will burn before the chicken is done on the inside, okay? So again, just a hint, you don't want to use panko if you're making like fried chicken on the bone, chicken on the bone, or if you're using like a large breast or you're frying chicken like that. You don't want to do that. All right, so I have seasoned my breadcrumbs. I have my flour, right? And now I have my chicken. I've patted my chicken dry, okay? I am gonna go ahead and season the chicken on both sides, and with that, I'm just gonna do a little salt and pepper. I could, of course, do Italian seasoning on this as well. Now, a lot of people, before they fry any kind of chicken, and my mom's watching, so she would agree, they would soak it in something overnight or for a few hours. As a general rule, when you think about soaking your chicken for frying, you would use buttermilk. Some people think about acids like lemon, and so let me tell you the difference. If you're using lemon is a tenderizer, but because of its acidity level, it tends to dry out the meat. Cracker crumbs for thicker chicken. Yes, Mom, you certainly could use cracker crumbs as well instead of breadcrumbs. All right, so now I've seasoned. If you use buttermilk, it still does the same thing of breaking down the chicken so that it's more tender, but it doesn't dry it out. So it's tender and then it tends to be juicy. All right, so here we go. I have my 3 stations, right? I have flour. Let me move this. I have flour. Can you see? Flour, egg, and the breadcrumb. And so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go flour. So we're gonna dip that in the flour first. We don't want that too terribly ick. Shake off. Then into the wet. Obviously, you could use tongs for this. Now, some people will go back again. Oh, thank you, Heather. I appreciate it. Some people will then go back again in the flour, and that will make a thicker outside crust, wholly up to you, okay? Now, then we've rolled it, and I kind of go over and do a little pack. There we go. All right, so there's our chicken breast. I'm gonna set this on the plate and do the next one. There is also a feeling that if you will go ahead and bread your chicken, just like I'm doing right now, shake, 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 shake. And then after you have it all done, you set it on a plate and stick it in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes. That will help the breading stay on as well. I don't know that, I've never done that. I've read that it does, but you know, my patience level is not so great. So there we go. Number 2, just laying them out flat. And again, I have a whole bunch. I have 8 that I have thawed out, but we're only gonna do 4 on the show because I figured if you were eating by yourself or if you were eating, you know, just 2 of you, especially if you were gonna make a starch to go with this meal. 15 seconds to go. All right, thank you. Let me do this. La, la, la. All right, let me go ahead and check our artichoke. Gross fingers, yuck. Yuck, I say. All right. You know what? We're gonna increase the time 5 more minutes. My parm is not melted. All right, so set the timer 5 more minutes. All right, my mom, it was kind of a joke when I was growing up. I never liked to get my hands dirty, which is why I didn't cook, because it was gross. And of course, you remember, most of you will remember when we were growing up, there was no such thing as Pam cooking spray, right? And quite frankly, if you were gonna grease your pan, you did it with butter, right? Or you used some Crisco, and that was it. That was your options. You didn't have a lot of options. It was butter or Crisco. Or you could have used lard, right? Nina has been camping for the last week with the grandkids, and it has been rainy there in So there we go. All right, so there's our last one. We have our 4 tenders. Anyway, so I never cooked because of this. Ugh. Ugh. I hate to get my hands icky too. I still do. I still think it's disgusting. Obviously, you could put on some plastic, some of those vinyl gloves, plastic gloves, whatever. And you could do this. Or what a lot of people will do is use tongs, which is fine. You could do that too. There you go. All right, so I'm gonna put this back on the heat. That you can tell when your oil is hot. There are a lot of people that go, oh, well, I have to, you put in a little droplet of flour or a breadcrumb or I wouldn't do a drop of water. There are some people that do that. Oil and water do not mix. I wouldn't recommend that. But anyway, you could just take a little bit of flour or a little bit of the breadcrumb and just do one of those into the oil. And if it starts to bubble, it's ready. Okay? There's your hint. All right, I'm gonna move these over because I will finish the family dinner with the rest of them later on. Here are my 4 tenders. Now remember, again, if you're doing this with a chicken breast or a chicken thigh that's big, I would cut the breast in half and pound it down a little bit. And same with the chicken thigh, if you're using my cooking method. Okay, the oil is hot. I could take you over there, but I'm just gonna bring it over here, all right? So now we're gonna take our chicken and we're gonna lay it in. Oh, that did not go bing, bing, bing. I turned it down, shoot. Now you know what that means, right? That piece is not gonna be good because that oil needs to be hot. I thought I would be okay. Bad Cindy. So that piece will be my piece because it will not be as good. So what happens if your oil is not hot when you go to fry anything? What will happen? Instead of that hot immediately starting to cook and sizzle and brown, what's gonna happen is whatever you've put in there is gonna start soaking up that oil. And so that piece will be horribly greasy. Blech, blech, blech. That will be a gross piece. All right. So that will be Cindy's piece because it will be oily and you need the sizzle. Right. I'm just sitting here talking about taking either the flour or the breadcrumb and putting it in there to make sure the oil is ready. And then I did not put the flour or the breadcrumb in there. How ridiculous is that? Bad Cindy. Well, how is everybody doing today? Anybody doing anything exciting? Are you doing things exciting? This is my exciting life. You are my exciting life. I was hoping my friend Mary Beth was going to be on, but she's not on because there was something I wanted to talk to you about. Hold on. All right, now we got some sizzle going. I'm very sad about that one piece. That's going to make me very sad. Do you make gravy after frying chicken? Well, actually, Heather, I'm going to make a dippy sauce. But I certainly have made gravy when, what not to do, right, Linda? How funny is that? Watch this show to find out how the moron screws up the chicken, right? Oh, thank you. Joanne, I'm glad to see you back too. Okay. I think we're at a heat level I'm okay with. And so you can see it sizzling. Oh, see? Much better. That's what you want to see as you lay them in there. And remember, you want to lay it down away from you, not like towards you. You lay it and then you lay it away from you, okay? So now they're all in the skillet. And it takes about 2 times up. Okay, time's up. Oh, there we go. Oh my gosh, that smells lovely. Okay, let me hold this. So the parm is good. Can you see on the edges where the parm has browned up on the sides, that's how you know you're in good shape. Can you see that? I hope you can. I'm gonna set this to the side to cool off, like right here. Just to cool off. All right, so our chicken is gonna need about 2 to 3 minutes on each side. Again, really depending on how big your pieces are, you know, that kind of thing. I'm just gonna use this same plate and I'm gonna put another paper towel on. You have your option when your chicken comes out. You can either get a plate with a paper towel on it, or if you have like a cookie rack, you know what I'm talking about? I'll show you. Here's one. Like this, a little cookie rack. Obviously you need to put some paper towels underneath it. You can put them on there and that way they stay crisp, the oil comes off. Basically, you don't want to just stick something straight out of the frying pan that's all greasy and then just put it directly on a plate. Because if you do, even if you've shaken it, all the grease has not come off. And so all that work that you put in to make it crispy, it's now gonna, as it cools, it's gonna soak that grease up and so it's not gonna be crispy. So there you go, okay? So we'll have this. Let me move this, let me move this. Let's take a gander. I'm gonna check. Oh, yes. All right, I'm gonna bring it over here to flip because I want you to see, okay? Look at this. Can you see the brown? Look at what a lovely color that is. Now, again, you're like, well, how do I know the chicken is done? If you're doing tenders and they're flat like this, by the time the outside is done, and I have my heat on high, medium, high, high. By the time the outside is brown, crispy on the outside, the inside of the chicken will be done. Brown paper bags work as well. Yes, my mom has all the hints and tips, right? Anyway, so you could use a rack or you could use a paper towel for that, either way. So here's what I wanted to talk to you about while that finishes cooking. There was a post from my friend Mary Beth, and the post said that she felt these days herself being sad and mad more frequently. Sad and mad about how people were reacting to certain things, or, you know, being quick to temper. And she said, you know, I guess it's the pandemic. And I read that and I thought, you know, that's true. I feel that same way. And I wonder, are you feeling that? Do you feel like we're on this second rise and the Delta thing is really bad? I will tell you that my husband's hospital right now, a day ago, there were 50, now we're just a community hospital, 50 in the ICU, and there are not 50 beds in the ICU. So there were a lot of people waiting in the ER, and everybody in the ICU that had COVID, 100% of those who have COVID in the ICU were non-vaccinated. I mean, it certainly is your option not to be vaccinated, but I'm just saying, 100% of those in the ICU with COVID, not vaccinated. All right, let me take a gander at these. Oh, perfect. Perfect, I tell you. All right, so now I'm gonna take my plate. Look, both sides, a lovely golden brown. Oh, so nice. So nice. Oh, yum and yum. Ouch, I hit the side of the skillet. That was bad. All right, now I'm gonna put this over here because I have to do others later on. Look at that. Look, 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 look. it has taken a toll on your, see, Heather, I agree. You just lost a friend for that very, Anita, I am so sorry for your loss. I really am. We lost one of our medical assistants that had been with us for 15, 20 years. And that was very, very hard. But I think the possibility, you know, it was almost like we weren't free. I mean, I hate to say that. We weren't like, woohoo, pandemic's over, we're free. But we'd gotten to a place where we weren't wearing masks as frequently, and things were open. We could go get our hair done, go get our nails done. I mean, I just went on a 4-night cruise, for heaven's sake, right? And so we could go out to dinner. It was almost like we were getting our lives back. And I don't want to say back to normal because, you know, really what is normal? And normal changes all the time. So it was almost like, you know, we're almost free, you know, and now, bam, it feels like it's all coming back. And I think when people get depressed or feel like they don't have control, which is, you know, this, I think that tends to make us angry quicker or more emotional quicker. And so, you know, you read some reactions on things on social media and you're like, wow, that was a big react. You know, I tend to judge very quickly, right? Yes, Renee, that is too. Oh, Tommy, you're late. We're already done. We're done cooking. We're just chatting. But, you know, the thing is we can point our fingers and say, well, it's because of this, or it's because of that, or it's because of, you know, whatever. I don't know that gets us anywhere, right? We're here. We are where we are regardless of why we're here. And so I can't always have control over the things that happen to me. Like, am I jazzy that I have 3 different kinds of arthritis and I have to go once a month and get infusions at the hospital, and even still though I hurt, right? No, I'm not jazzed about that. I don't really have control over every aspect of my life, but I can control how I react to everything. And so I guess it's one of the reasons I do this show, right? Because you guys make me happy. You ask questions. You know, we're not talking about the nastiness of the day. We're talking about food, and how can food not be a happy thing? Food always makes me happy. As you can tell, the fat girl, right? You know, here we go. I like food. I don't like to exercise, but I sure like food. I like to cook it. I like to eat it. Yum. But anyway, this show really has helped me. And so on the one hand, I really hope that watching takes you out of all the crazy, and just for 45 minutes or an hour makes you a little happier. Watching you makes me happy twice a week. Oh, thank you so much, Anne. That is great. I don't see many people throughout. Oh, crap. Crud. I can't get the see more. I'll have to read the rest of it after the show. My phone. Oh, there it is. Throughout the week. Yeah. See, you guys in the UK are still locked down bad. But I just hope that for an hour, we escape the crazy and the depressing and the emotional and all that, and we can just be a little silly. We can share ideas. A good chunk of you cook way better than I do. I mean, I have seen stuff you've made. I've seen stuff you've posted, and you used to eat at work too much, not a real dinner either. Well, Chris, I hope that has helped you. Thank you, Heather. I appreciate that. You guys really help me. You do a lot. I have to plan. Like, because there are mornings I wake up on a Tuesday or Thursday and I'm like, I just don't feel like it. I hurt. And I have to make a choice right then and there. And a lot of times my thought process is, You know what? If you just get up and do this, once you see everybody on the show, you'll be in a much better place. And it usually is true. So thank you guys for saving my mental health. And I think we help each other. So let's eat. Shall we eat? Let's eat. Okay. All right. Now, one of the things you do want to do with any kind of, okay, so you see there we go. Those are a lovely chicken. One of the things you always want to do, pardon, is let your meat rest a little bit. Whether you're doing beef, pork, chicken, whatever it is, once you've done your cooking process, let it sit. I mean, it doesn't need to sit for 30 minutes, but let it sit for, at least a couple of minutes. Because what happens is Kaylin's wedding. Oh, I know. I'm so sorry, Nina. I know Nina's getting ready for her daughter's wedding, and now the restrictions are coming back. It's hard. It really is. Do we go forward? Do we not? So when you're doing your meat is like all jazzy and apart, right? So think about this. Think about this as a piece of meat, okay? This is what it looks like before you start to cook it. Either if you grill it, if you fry it, or if you bake it. Once the meat is exposed to heat, it does this. It has jazz hands, right? The meat is all like, woohoo, we're getting so yummy, right? All right, so once it comes out of the heat, it still is doing this, not as fast. But you need to let it cool, and then it'll go back to this. Why is this important? Because if it's still doing this and you cut it, all that juice that's in there runs out. And that's a lot of the flavor. Then you could have dry meat. Have I tried pickle juice? Yeah, well, that's what Chick-fil-A uses. That's right. They use pickle juice. I have not used pickle juice. I have not. So, okay, let's eat. Oh, no, first we need to make a dippy sauce. I was talking too long. Here's the plate I decided to use today because I wanted to be happy. The matchy bowl. Be happy. All right. I do not have, I'm going to make a garlic horseradish sauce. Now, normally, I have the stuff from Polish Pottery that is a garlic sauce. There's a little jar, and it says garlic sauce. Unfortunately, I was out of my garlic sauce. This is garlic paste, because this is all I had. All right, so this is garlic paste, and I'm going to use a teaspoon of garlic paste, a teaspoon of this Polish horseradish. If you're not using Polish horseradish, use a mild horseradish. And then I'm going to use a tablespoon of mayo. Why? Because if I had now if you have the Polish garlic sauce and you have the Polish horseradish, just just mix in equal parts of both, okay? That's it. That's my little sauce. How cool is that? Now let's taste it because I may need some salt in there. Let me taste. I may put just a smidge of salt and a smidge of pepper in there. Okay, salt and pepper, and then give it another whiz. Obviously, if you want to make a ton of this, like, if you're cooking for 6 or more, just, bump it up. This feeds 2. Ooh, yes. Okay, perfect. All right, so there's our little sauce, and here is our plate. So I'm gonna put one of our chicken strips on there, and I gotta get some of our yummy artichokes. If you just came on, we made Italian Parmesan artichokes. So I'm gonna get, they're sticky together because there's Parm on there. Gotta love that. Okay, so I've gotten 2 of those. Here's what I'm gonna do. You could put this in a little dish next to it, but I'm just gonna put a little bit of a sauce on the edge that I'm gonna eat. All right? And here we go. I could be rude and pick it up and use my hands, which I probably would do if you were not here. Do you do that? Like, if you're at a restaurant or you're with other people, but if you're at home, you're like, I'm just gonna pick it up and eat it. Do you do that? I do that. I do that. But you're watching me, so there we go. All right, I'm gonna start with the artichoke. There we go. Yum. So we just did a can of artichokes with Italian seasoning and Parmesan on top. And, there's a little bit, you get the salt from the Parmesan, a nice Italian flavor from the Italian herbs that we used, and then that, it is hard to describe what an artichoke tastes like. It's almost got I don't want to say a pickle quality to it, but it does kind of. A very mild pickle quality. But that's just my feeling about what an artichoke tastes like. So, all right, our chicken now. Oh, crunchy, oh my gosh, crunchy. Look how pretty. I got my sauce on top. Look at that. Yum. Are you yumming? Listen to how crunchy. Now, you don't want to make the sauce or you go, oh, garlic and horseradish, gross. Great thing about this, you could dip these in ranch dressing, in honey mustard dressing. You could get some pizza sauce or spaghetti sauce or marinara sauce and dip them. You say, I'm trying to behave. Don't dip them at all. Just eat them just like they are, right? You want to take this and make it more, make some pasta or make some rice and put this on top. If you want to use the leftovers for a sandwich, so put these on the sandwich. Maybe you get a slice of cheese and melt that on the top. Oh, so good. See what all you can do with the humble chicken tender. So there you go. That's our show today. I hope you enjoyed it. 2 really easy, simple meals. And really, we were done in about 15 minutes, point blank. And so you could have dinner on the table right at 20. So how exciting is that? I hope you enjoyed today. It is Thursday, so we won't be back again until Tuesday. But I hope you have a lovely weekend. And from my kitchen to yours, may all of your meals be quick, easy, but of course, most importantly, yummy. I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.